Husband, my husband, he is the head of our household, and I have prayed for the man of God that he would have the heartbeat of God, that he will understand God's principles, which can be brought back to God's original intent, that he made us for one another. We need to love one another. But invest in yourself. Conferences, retreats like this, discover the new you.
Well, hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Community Central. I'm your host, Raychelle Gaston. Now, as we know, the head. Being the head, it's really not an issue of who's more important or who's the one that should be in charge, but it's more so of order. And being the head of the house for men means to be the one who leads the family spiritually, in relationship or whatever it is that's within that family. And you know, we have someone to talk about that with us today, none other than Apostle Robin Blue. We're glad for you to be with us today because being the head of the house is something that a lot of men probably need to find their place in. You know, and it's so important because it is order. God is a God of order. But first of all, tell us about your background and what is it that you do?
Thank you. It's good to be here. I am RB Network Marketing and Consultant, and also Robin Blue Ministries. And what I help do, I am the link that connects the dot to businesses and ministries, whether it's a small business or whether it's a failing ministry. I take it and allow it to grow to where that pastor or their leader or their business person is looking to go, because a lot of people don't get the connection. They want the connection to find out what is it that I can do right, what is it that I can do different in order to grow. So I'm just there to help them, and I've seen many people grow from 60 to thousands of members of churches and their businesses as well.
Wow. And people probably don't even look at the fact that there's someone out there that can actually help to grow a church. Yes. You know, what is it that motivated you to do this? What was your passion? I guess that was
my passion. Is I don't like to see people fail. And a lot of the mega churches, sometimes they have those spiritual sons and daughters, and they just want to know, can you help me? What is it that I can do to make myself not so much be like you, but be like God wants me to be the person that God wants me to be. So it motivates me when I hear people say, I just need some help. Can you help me? And then we begin to negotiate, where do you want to go? Let me hear your heart. And that's what it's all about, is having the heartbeat of God.
Wow, that's right. And so moving into this subject that we're talking about, the head of the house. When I say head of household, what does that mean?
My husband. My husband, he is the head of our household, and I have a wonderful husband, but everybody doesn't have a husband. So if Christ is not the head, then you'll never have a covering. So that head needs to be someone you respect, someone you can listen to. You may not always agree, but sometimes you can agree to disagree.
Okay. You know, and then with women, you know, you hear this term, women should stay in their place. You know, what is that? You know, what is this place, or what is this term, women should stay in their place?
God didn't make male or female when it comes to ministry. A woman's place in the first ministry that any woman should have, especially if they are married. Your husband has to be your first ministry. Ain't no need of going into shibabas and hikamas and speaking in tongues, and your house is nasty. And you're not taking care of your husband. So your place is alongside of your husband. If your husband is not in agreement with what you're doing or what God is doing in your life, you don't need to have your lips poked out. You need to pray for the man of God, that he would have the heartbeat of God, that he will understand God's principles and God's purpose for your life. And when you can pray for him, that he would have such a love relationship with God, then that man will come back and say, I want to release you to do what God needs you to do. And baby, I'm here to pray for you.
Okay, that's right, because he's your covering. Now, when we look at the black family, what would you say are some of the major things that tear the families apart?
Money, that's sex. Money is probably the two common things. If a woman don't have money, she don't want to give up no sex. Now I'm just gonna be real. It's just a real thing.
Tell the truth.
But when their dependency is on God and not themselves, if it's about themselves, then it will never allow God to get in the midst of that relationship. And they're going to be torn. And those children are going to be torn. That relationship is going to be torn. So it cannot be about you. It has to be about both of you coming in agreement with what God has to say about your situation. That's what it's all about. If not the black family or any color family, it'll be torn up. It has to be God first. Family first. And I tell people all the time, God created the family before he created the church.
You know, that is something that I've heard a lot lately, and that thing grabbed me about he had a family before he had a church, which is so important, because we'll have everything and then it happens in the church. They'll put the pastor before their husband. Oh Lord, I could go on and on about that, but anyway, within the black family or the black community, do you feel like we're promoting marriage enough?
Not even so, because our society is gained the perspective of anything goes, whether you want to live with a man or whether you want to live with a woman. But if the people that are looking outside of the church and they're looking from the outside in, if they can only see godly marriages and wholesome marriages and see the real love, then yes, marriage can be brought back to God's original intent, that he made us for one another. And we need to love one another. But until the church family gets to that point where they're going to show that, because what has happened is behind closed doors, that child in that pastor's home or that leader's home say, I don't ever want to get married again. Because they don't see it in the real form, and that's within the church, and they take it into the house. So it's a huge difference.
It is. Now, with that being said, we've probably got some men that are watching right now that probably just got married or have been married and maybe not have taken their rightful place or know how to be the head. What would your advice be to that man? Because we know the word tells that man to love his wife like Christ loved the church. Then she will automatically respect and honor him, basically. So what advice would you offer to that husband today?
I would offer the advice to that husband to love like you've never been hurt before. And when a man truly loves God, he will always love his wife. He will always love his children. So have a greater love for God than anything else. And when you do that, that relationship can bring you in like a tightrope. And you'll watch God just wrap his arms around you. And you'll be so in love with that sweet baby that's in your house.
Okay. Wow. Tell us about Robin Blue Ministries, because we dare not get out of here and not hear about it, because I can just tell what wells up out of you. Yes. It's not just talking, she's for real.
Robin Blue Ministries is a ministry geared to healing those who have been broken, been bruised, been hurt, been wounded by the church. I'm a pastor's daughter. And what I do is speak on a regular basis, motivational speaking, life coaching, motivational coaching, and I'm speaking anywhere between 42 to 46 weeks in a year. In conferences, workshops, church services. I'm also a gospel singer, recording artist. So I've done a lot. But the more important thing than anything is I love God. I love me some Jesus. And that's what keeps me anchored, to know that I have that love for him and he's going to love me back.
Yes. And see, listen at her being humble, because I've come to spend this time with you, like at the Discover New You retreat. Yes. And even before that, having the opportunity to spend some time, and then you're deep. And you're loaded, so a lot of people, I'm sure they glean off of that is inside of you. You know, if there was one thing that you probably could throw out, because I know we're about to wrap this up, to those that are just watching, not just the head of the house, but
Yes.
what is it that you would say to those who are watching, probably that are in desperation at this moment? When we look at the times that we're living in right now.
I would tell them, invest in yourself. Conferences and retreats like this, discover the new you. I even came here this weekend and I discovered something about me, that there was a deep emotional side of me that I needed to not let go, but walk through. So if you can make an investment in yourself to get to the 2012, discover the new you, you are going to find a level of love and respect for yourselves in what you do, what you want to do, for your future, for your life, for your family, for your career, and for your church.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Apostle Robin Blue, right here on Community Central TV. We thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next episode in just a moment.